Do you think your fame has gotten to you?
Do I think that my
Relax,
fame has
we are
gotten
just
to
a
me?
small podcast in Singapore. He has jokingly mentioned, this person say they like you and Joey, then me,
When you're single, 2 out of 3 out, right?
We'll be very hurt, you know.
Yeah.
Like, you compliment one, okay.
Okay.
Correct.
Then you compliment all 3,
Okay.
But when you compliment 2 out of 3,
It's
right?
essentially shitting on one. Welcome to the Hot Pot, where we hop into different parts of spaces people find themselves in during life's transitions. I'm Joey.
I'm Nick.
I'm Q. And it's my turn to finally do the grilling.
Wow! Yes, if you're confused, we previously grilled Q about her love life on the episode of The Hot Seat. Anyway, today it's Nick's turn.
Okay, Nick, first of all, any guesses?
No leh, I feel like I'm quite ungrillable one. So I have no idea what y'all will talk about.
What about our outfits?
I have no idea. Like,
Shall we,
is it a teacher thing?
Oh,
Or like a librarian thing?
good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's therapy session.
Oh.
With Q and Joey, we are your therapist friends, and today's agenda is to unpack why Nicholas Yim struggle to be in touch with his emotions.
I don't struggle to be in touch with my emotions.
Oh, then we end the episode here.
Okay, so a little disclaimer. Of course, Q and I are not medical professionals. We are not doctors. We are just two girlies who have love for him, who want to have this chat, a very safe space, a therapeutic chat, if you will. Okay, so we have here with us Nick's medical assessment card with a list of curated questions to help us and help you open up and to find out if you're really ennui of Inside Out.
The French one.
Yeah,
Right?
she's like,
First question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how in tune are you with your emotions?
I think a solid 8. I know what I'm feeling. And I can understand why I'm feeling that way.
How are you feeling right now?
Okay, quite neutral. But I just don't let it manifest in an extreme way in general.
What's extreme to you actually?
Don't cry, don't like shout. Like when I'm angry, I don't shout or scream or like lose my temper at people. When I am sad, I don't cry. When I'm happy, I don't like, ah!
You have never jumped for joy.
No.
No. I've seen reactions, and now when I'm thinking back, right, it's always because it's like he kepo then got tea.
Oh my god, literally just now when I walked in the room with flowers, right? Because I'm gonna give Joey flowers. He was like, oh my god. I'm like, hey, relax.
Yeah, I
no
think
one gave it to me.
The only time I let my emotions manifest outwardly, right, is when I kepo. Ask y'all, how come y'all cry? When's the last time you cry?
I think yesterday, or like just.
Like why?
It's not like a devastation, then I cry sometimes. Oh my god, yesterday I saw my dad eating at the kopitiam, and I walked by and I just watched him eating, then I just started crying at the bus stop.
No, I know what you mean.
And I'm like, damn, he's getting old eh.
It's like your dad looking lonely, right? It's the worst feeling ever.
Like what you lack in empathy, I have too much. I feel.
What kind of emotions do you struggle to feel?
Name some?
Anxiety?
Anxious?
No, I
Fear?
think I am quite anxious quite a lot.
Huh, really?
Yeah,
Can't tell.
I just control.
What about fear?
I don't struggle to feel it lah. I feel fear lah.
Joy? Happiness?
There are situations that I'm in, right, where I'm like, logically I should be happy about this, but then I think I got said before, like I just feel relieved.
Do you ever feel bliss?
What is the difference between joy and bliss?
Okay, the expression is like that. Bliss,
Huh?
Joy?
Like
Okay, bliss is like that.
bliss is kind of like contentment. In that moment you're like, oh man, I'm really happy that this happened, and you can sit with it.
Higher likelihood of me feeling bliss than joy.
So when you get recognized for your achievements, like for example the Forbes 30 under 30, like did you feel very happy about that?
Relieved.
Why relieved?
I think
Isn't
because
relief-
I was like, wow, I really hope I get it. And then when
Oh,
I got
you wanted.
Oh.
yeah.
Okay.
So like then when I got it, then I was like, oh, it worked out the way that I wanted it to work out.
But you never amcho.
Oh, I'm sure a bit.
Okay.
You pick me.
Oh my god, of all people, me, Nicholas Yim.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
so when was the last time you opened up to someone about your emotions? Just want to praise ourselves for opening
Higher likelihood is it will be Jess
them.
than y'all lah.
Okay, but do you find yourselves like opening up with us more than before you started THP?
No, same.
Okay, cool. Thanks for watching this episode.
Wow, we are useless eh.
At the start, it's not like I never like tell y'all things. What I think through the hot pot, I have learned a bit more empathy about how other people are feeling
Okay.
rather than like my own emotions.
Empathy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's dive a little deeper. I feel like these questions are too easy for you.
Okay.
It's
So-
boring.
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 If you don't know what we're referencing is our beloved Si Yu, who was talking on live halfway, then she's suddenly boring. Anyway, what are you most self-conscious / insecure about?
I feel like last couple of years, whenever I am insecure or self-conscious, right, it's because I am usually at work, the youngest one in the meeting or in the room. Then you have a lot of like imposter syndrome lah. Yeah. But I feel like this year that has changed.
Can I just say that I'm very happy that he actually said that?
Yeah.
Because it always seemed like you are confident no matter where you go.
No lah, just need to deal with it lah.
But I do think that it's important for men especially to talk about insecurities, because there's always this expectation on them to fake it or like exert dominance or like, I want to vomit but like alpha.
As a millennial that grew up in like a Asian culture, right? I feel like we are taught to be, respect the hierarchy and all that.
That's true.
So then when I'm in a workplace setting, right, and sometimes I am managing people that are older than me or have more like years of experience than me, right? Then there's this inherent like imposter syndrome lor. But after a while, then you realize that actually it's not just all like luck lah.
Next question. How do you feel about the idea of being too emotional?
I don't like. I think the idea of like imposing or inconveniencing other people with your emotions, right, to me is a bit of an ick. Yeah.
Okay, let's like touch on that a little bit. Do you see vulnerability as something that is disgusting? And then second question is, why do you feel like someone's sharing of their emotions instantly becomes like you having to bear the responsibility of that?
I think it's because, right, my inherent nature as a problem solver, then I will default into like oh no, there's an issue, so now I need to solve it. Sidetrack a bit, like parenting styles, right? I feel like today's parenting style, like you train kids to be very selfish. Right? It's like, how about how you are feeling and your emotions and all that, right? Then you just end up being very inconsiderate for the rest of the world lah. It's very main character energy.
As in the children will end up being selfish?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's all about like me, how I'm feeling. And I think that is a symptom of like the younger generation and then how they parent their children also. So I try not to be like that lah. Although I must admit that maybe sometimes I take it to the extreme where I'm like, just don't.
Do you think this stems from a possible lack of empathy?
I don't think so. I recognize that you are entitled to feel this way, but you're not entitled to inconvenience other people lah.
What if it's like a close friend? Obviously, we're not talking about like family issues, but if someone is having maybe an anxiety attack or they're going through something like a rough patch, would you be able to sit down and let them like cry it out constantly,
Can.
or would you?
I think that there is the right balance lah. So obviously, like if some like your family member just died, then obviously I'll be like, okay, I'm here to listen and all that.
What if one day I break up with the love of my life and then I go to your house and then I cry for 12 hours straight?
You okay
36.
Will you stay there?
When no, I just cannot go home. I just like Nick, sorry, just let me sit here for a while.
Is it a weekend?
Yes, it's a weekend. It's a weekend where it's family day.
No, I think weekend better. Weekday a bit inconvenient.
Okay, weekday. Weekday after work lah. After work.
After work.
I
After
think
work, okay.
this makes sense to him because there's a reason. But I'm saying, what if
What if there's no reason?
correct. So what if one day I come in, I'm like, guys, I'm really sorry. I don't know why. I'm just feeling like shit. Everything makes me want to cry. I'm just very annoyed at everything. And I keep whining.
I think okay, I know. Then for me, right, my immediate reaction would be that there is an underlying issue that you are not in tune with.
Oh.
So then I won't blame you first, because you need to go and work
Yeah.
it out lah. But if every single time that I meet you like 5 times in a row, then you are like that, right? Then
Like entitled.
yeah.
I
then
think you just don't like Debbie Downers.
Yeah, just be chill, man.
Oh.
I'm just a chill guy.
He likes the
Chill. CH
singles
I
in first.
L.
CHEW, chew. I'm a chill guy.
Chill guy.
Has there been a moment in your life where you felt very overwhelmed with your emotions?
Have. I think when I was coming out of my last relationship and then before I got into my current relationship, that period was a bit stressful because I was also changing jobs. It's quite difficult to stop and process each stream of emotions. That was when the pie chart paradox was created, where I just needed to figure out what is the priority, then I deal with that first.
What's something you're afraid people might see if they could look deeper into your emotions?
Like imagine if someone could take a scan of your brain right now, right? And there's this like pocket or like area or like your room, like that spare room.
The things that you
What
want
is
people to know about.
inside your spare room that you are afraid?
My fear, right? Okay, one is dying. Or dying prematurely lah. Then when I look back on the past 30 or 40 years, right? Then a bit mid.
Okay, on this topic, I've always wanted to ask you this. There seems to be like a tie between achievements and worth as a human being and value. Why is there this like such a like a strong parallel?
Actually, no leh. I feel like the achievements are a means to an end. At the end of the day, right? It's also just like financial independence. Then can just chill.
So that's really like a pragmatic thing.
Yeah.
What about emotional satisfaction? Do you feel like achieving all these goals actually linked to emotional satisfaction for you?
Little bit lah. Not say a lot.
Percentage?
Like 50%?
50%.
Yeah.
Can-
I think I get more emotional satisfaction from experiencing new things with Jess. Like when we go holiday, then we see new stuff. That was my core memory of 2025 so far.
Okay, speaking of the lovely Jess, when it comes to your marriage, how do you express love and affection to her?
My true nature is a quality time kind of like person. But recently, I feel like work has gotten in the way of that quite a bit. So then I feel like I need to like compensate a bit. So I will cook meals because that one at least I can plan around it, right?
Aww.
When you say compensate, right, do you feel like it's an obligation or
No, I like
it's
to
a
do.
it's a feeling
Yeah.
like you love her so much that you
Yeah.
wanna do all this? Okay. Then how do you handle conflict in your marriage?
Ooh, okay. So this one was a key learning point for me. The going into problem solving mode is not like what she had wanted from me. So then just need to listen. Lor.
Okay, so for couples out there who are struggling with finding the middle ground, what kind of advice would you give to someone who's in a problem solving mode?
Okay, so I will generalize because I always see on like TikTok, women always complain about men going into problem solving mode when actually they just want you to listen to them. But then I feel like on the part of the person who is feeling all these emotions, right, and all these grievances, you also need to kind of like vocalize what are your expectations lah for this scenario. You cannot just expect me to read your mind and like, oh, don't go into problem solving mode.
Yeah, 100%.
So like just say what you want
Okay.
I think
Say.
Just say only. Like what you want.
But it's not all logical because sometimes before you even process it, you verbalize it to your partner. And that's the first time it has like came out as a realization also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing that I learned, right, is that sometimes emotions quite irrational. Okay, so I think an example would be, I think there was once where we argued over like not spending enough time together. Yeah. So then I explained that I'm working, which is an obligation, but then I do try to put in effort to spend time together through X, Y, Z. Then she feels that like I recognize the effort, but I still feel this way. So then I cannot reconcile like, huh? What do you mean by you recognize the effort but you still feel this way?
Oh.
But both can exist at once, right?
Yeah lah, so that's what I learned lah. So you need to be able to live in that grey
Grey.
area.
Grey is the hardest. For problem solvers, grey is punishment.
It's a very bad example, but then I draw back to like when I was in NS. There are some scenarios where your commander tell you to do something, then you don't really understand why.
Oh, okay. I get
But you
it.
just do lah.
Right.
Then you realize that, oh, actually, there's no right way. There's just one way and another way.
I don't know whether to classify him as low or high EQ. It's very interesting.
It's like both.
Yeah, you lack in a way that doesn't affect your life, but others.
No, I understand because he's so intelligent.
Correct.
He knows the human mind and
Correct.
the emotions.
He's
but then
also very self-aware.
at the same time, right, he could go into like dismissing someone's feelings.
100%. And he can still make sense of that, by the way. So that's why I'm like, are you a little
That's-
spicy?
No, that's why the people in the comment section saying we're so lucky that Nick doesn't use his brain for evil.
I replied to that. I was like, who said I'm not evil?
He is evil, guys. He is.
Actually.
How do you feel when people leave comments on the podcast about you?
Good or not good?
Critical.
Meh.
Especially when they talk about you humble bragging.
I genuinely think that people are entitled to their opinion. Because I also like watch a lot of TikToks and like other people's content, and then I will automatically form judgments of these people.
We know that all too well.
Yeah.
We know that all too well.
But I also recognize that my judgment on these people is quite like,
Like, haha, like just for a moment.
You think yours more accurate?
I think I'm more accurate because I think I can read people better than most people lah. But then I realized that it might be wrong also. So I fully admit that my judgment on people who I do not know might be wrong, even though I back myself to be right.
The judgment can be quite intense.
Yeah.
Listen, your truth only needs to be the truth to you.
Yeah.
Inherently, what he's saying is right. You can judge me, but your judgment is quite inaccurate. But when I judge people,
It's correct.
I know my judgment is correct. It's correct. Which can be said the other way. And like, to be
Yeah.
honest, fair game, right?
Yeah. Okay, my biggest ick, right, are influencers or content creators, right, who choose to pursue like this as a career, and then they also are like, oh, I just want my privacy, or I just like, I hate it when people are like, talking about me or things like that. Because you cannot have your cake and eat it, ma. Yeah, it comes with the job.
You cannot like undo fame. You cannot undo knowledge and like recognition.
So if I choose to continue doing this podcast, then you must be prepared for comments lah. Going back to the humble bragging thing, right? I don't think I humble brag. I feel like if I brag, I will just brag.
So we touched a little bit on fame. Do you low-key get disappointed when people don't recognize you?
No eh.
I can't even ask this.
Low-key get disappointed when...
Hey, wait, I scripted this episode, right? But then this line, I think, is from the producers.
What is the thought process behind this question?
Don't.
Now
What?
it's making me question myself
Okay,
whether
okay.
I have said before that like, walao, this person never recognized me. sia.
No. As in, he has jokingly mentioned, this person say they like you and Joey, eh? Then me, eh? I don't
Yeah,
exist,
guys, when you're
huh?
single 2 out of 3 out, right?
We'll be very hurt, you know.
Yeah.
Like, you compliment one, okay.
Okay.
Correct.
Then you compliment all 3,
Okay.
But when you compliment 2 out of 3,
It's
right?
essentially shitting on one.
It's as good as saying the third one. That
Boo!
Boo.
is, boo to you. Yeah, I don't think that I have ever been bummed that, like,
No lah. Actually, we know the answer to this. It's just
yeah.
okay. Since we're talking about
Is it another funny question?
Do you think your fame has gotten to you?
what things, we only do podcast, only relax lah.
Do I think that my fame
Relax.
has
We are just
gotten
a
to me?
small podcast in Singapore.
Do you feel like you've changed because the hot pot has been gaining traction?
This one is you, right, Anna?
This was from the audience,
Because we asked on Instagram like for prompts, and so essentially it's
So you all think Nick
I'm so-
famous or what?
I'm so glad that you all think that the podcast is big, eh? By advertising standards, I think I'm not even micro-influencer.
Micro influencer 20k, I think.
That's damn hard, eh?
加油啦. Try your best, oh. Then maybe next year we can ask again.
Yeah.
Okay. Shit, why did we laugh so much about?
yeah.
Okay, back
Because
to-
essentially it's asking, you think you're famous?
You think you're famous, huh? You think you're famous?
I don't think so, lah. Although, like, my last good flight, someone did give me free coffee because they watched the podcast.
Okay, relax. Do you feel like you're truly being your real self on the podcast?
Yeah.
I think he's being a little bit too much
Yeah.
of his
Really back in.
Yeah.
Let's
Conceal a
add,
little bit.
Yeah, let's add a bit of
Facade.
Only got, like, some thoughts I feel like cannot share, lah. But I feel like the essence of me is
Honestly, I think all
yeah.
three of us are
Correct.
quite-
So imagine this is already withheld. This is toned down.
You all know people that on podcasts or on shows like completely different.
as in, we've seen
Yes.
some influencers on screen versus off screen.
Yes.
Quite
At
different.
events.
I don't understand that. So as someone who needs to always be very true, I really don't understand that. And I think it's humans are very interesting.
But unless they have a character that they play on screen.
Correct.
My rationale, right, coming onto the podcast was because I really think I'm quite interesting. I feel like I am self-aware enough to know that, like, if my thoughts had no value, right, or if I was just very boring, right, then I either wouldn't do it, or I would feel the need to, like, be a different person and have like wild hot takes for the sake of it, you know, which I feel like some people actually do.
Were you excited that you're gonna be on a podcast with us?
Yeah.
Pass.
Pass.
Wait, before we move on to the next segment, subscribe.
Please subscribe.
You're like our specs.
Spectacle.
Today is spectacle
Whose
day.
spectacle is can touch the arbor one? It's not me.
All right, moving on to the next segment. They say that people who aren't in touch with their emotions might also lack empathy. But there's a difference between cognitive empathy and emotional empathy.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So cognitive empathy is basically where you can see where they're coming from. You understand why they might be feeling this way. And then emotional empathy is like feeling what they're feeling.
I think you're cognitive, right?
I'm like ultra cognitive empathy.
So for a fun little quick like assessment, we've got a list of scenarios
Okay.
and we want to hear your take on them.
Okay.
So how empathetic you would be basically and how you would advise your friend in these situations. Okay, ready? We have relationship as the first category. Your friend has been in a long-term relationship and recently discovered that their partner cheated on 3 separate occasions. They are devastated, but they still want to stay with their partner.
You confirm think it's ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
come tell us your thoughts.
I think in a relationship also cheat means what? I have sex. Yeah, to me in a relationship, like once you have that sort of like physical cheating, right, then cannot break up.
Exact words.
Is it a bro?
No, it's a girl.
It's
me.
My friend, you are.
It's me.
I will tell you, have some respect for yourself.
I knew it. I literally writing, do you want to be disrespected?
I will tell you that you deserve better and
Hey, that's quite wholesome. Okay,
yeah,
continue.
you deserve better. Have some respect for yourself.
But will you even try to there
Maybe a bit
cheer
lah.
up?
If I feel like based on my understanding of you, that's what you need, then
It's me.
Yeah lah. Maybe there a bit.
I feel like he'll be like, wow, that really sucks, but f him, he's a fucking
Yeah.
asshole.
Got one time
Yeah.
I a bit sad, right? Then he texts me, 你 okay ma? Which is quite sweet as a friend. Like, he's trying,
Yeah.
but it can feel that he's very ice cold.
I feel like coming from him, that is a lot.
Yeah. Then he said
Love
加油.
Oh.
Okay, the next one. This is about career. A close friend has just lost their job unexpectedly and they're struggling to find motivation or see the next step. They feel like a failure and post negative stories on their IG every day.
He will mute so that he won't lose empathy for the friend.
No, but this is my friend, right?
Okay, let's say it's me.
She
Okay.
every day posts on her IGS.
Walao, no gigs,
You
that
will
kind.
want to mute, right?
No, I think okay.
Oh.
I think that because I am also like in the corporate rat race with everyone, then I feel like this is a very real theme of today. And it's a very real problem that a lot of people are facing lah. So I think I have a bit more emotional empathy in this scenario. I can understand how like you can really question like your self-worth and all that lah. Wow, which says a lot about me that when it comes to like
Career.
a work thing, then I can understand
Yeah.
more than like break
Yeah,
up.
I literally feel like you can have emotional empathy only if it aligns with your personal beliefs.
Yeah, and my own experiences.
Oh my god.
So if you will react the same way, you 100% can align.
Yeah.
But if you cannot see yourself reacting that way, immediately you're like, I don't know why you're
Yeah,
acting
because
this way.
that first scenario, right? If the friend had told me I'm damn sad, but I'm gonna break up with him, then I will
you can
understand
be
a bit more.
emotionally
Yeah.
empathetic.
In this scenario, right, I feel like what I would do is I will go into problem solving mode. So what can I do to like help you find another job, that kind of thing.
Make
lah.
resume, send out.
But whatever you said about Nick just now, right? Actually, I feel like most people feel the same way. For example, I mean about empathy, right? If you didn't feel it before, you wouldn't be able to empathize. Anyone who loses their pet, I cannot empathize.
Pet
I don't know the feeling of like that emotional attachment to an animal.
Yeah.
Or like touch wood, like parents' death. So as much as I would understand the grief, I don't know how
To feel it.
how intense it would be.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So then I just try to cognitive empathy lah. Okay, fair enough that you are feeling this way, but yeah. So in this scenario, I think I will give more practical advice. Like, the negative stories isn't really helping your public profile. Especially if you are trying to look for another job then later like future employers, your network and all that see.
Like people get icked out by
Yeah.
Joey because she posting sad stories.
Okay, moving on to the next scenario. I'm very excited about this one
Okay.
because it's to do with social media. And
Okay.
I feel like maybe you would actually experience this maybe down the line. Okay, so say a friend of yours has posted a very controversial opinion online and they're getting flamed for it. Full on cancel culture
When will I
against them.
explain this later on? You are.
No. I mean,
Oi, Toy.
okay, say you know someone,
Ah.
okay, for example, you don't agree with what they're posting, but they are very emotional because basically they've lost all their jobs. Their online friends or like the not real friends cannot be associated with them anymore. Actually, even their real friends online cannot be associated with them anymore, right? So behind the scenes, they come to you and like, oh my god, I can't believe this happened.
Their life changed.
They come to me for what?
Advice and also comfort. What actually why they go to him for comfort?
Yeah, actually,
Yeah, I
don't know.
think people know not to come to me for comfort.
Okay, self-awareness
But okay,
is
like,
great.
if you come to me for comfort, then I think you are seeking a specific kind of comfort. But if I don't agree with the take, I'll just tell them I don't agree with the take lah.
Even offline, if let's say my friends did something wrong,
Yeah.
I will straight out tell them I don't agree with this decision, but I will still be your friend. I'll support you behind the scenes, but then I cannot stand up for you to agree with what you just did.
Yeah, because fundamentally, I think the way I see people who I want to be friends with, right? I believe inherently you are a good person or that our beliefs align ma. If a certain action, I can look at it in isolation and then like, okay, this doesn't change my view of you or my perception of you as a friend, then okay. But, for example, beat your partner. Then cannot lah. Can I caveat, right, that I'm actually quite agreeable one. Like, it's not difficult to be friends with me, I think.
Okay, we have officially reached the end of Nick's hot seat. And after gaining all this information, we have reached
The
the
verdict.
What ah?
Bobby.
the answer to...
Does Nick not feel anything at all? I feel like you do feel things. You just feel an adequate amount for life to progress efficiently and in a way that doesn't weigh you down. Because like being too overjoyed is exhaustion and being too depressed is inefficient. So
Wow.
you just live very
Well
you live
said.
a very efficient life. It serves you. It makes absolutely no sense to me. But this is the beauty of human beings, right? We operate very differently.
If he has a chart, right, the productivity level must like keep going up.
I derive like my version of joy, right, from productivity. Like project.
I
A lot of
think-
things to do, la, la,
Yeah.
la.
Yeah. And in fact, I think he sees what someone might view as mundane to him as this is great because I have no things to attend to. Even if it's a spike in like a celebration, right? He's like, like must go and do this, no need. Like I'm happy for it to be manageable.
Yeah.
And I think if he's close to you enough, and if you address that, you need him to be more empathetic in certain aspects of your life, right? He would work it out and kind of try to
lah.
improve for the friendship.
Try lah.
I think that's the important thing, trying. It's also unfair to force a friendship on him that serves you and not him as a person.
Therefore, Nick is okay.
Yeah.
He's alright.
Nick is
Contrary to popular belief. So thanks for watching this episode of The Hot Pot. You can also listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Me Listen, and Chris World on Singapore Airlines.
I knew he was going to say that. And subscribe to us if you haven't already.
And comment down below who you want us to grill in the next hot seat. It could be Joey, it could be a new guest, who knows?
Don't need. If you have any more questions for Q and Nick, please ask us in the comments. Don't need for me. I think I'm good.
Hey, no. All
And
attention on
we'll see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye. I thought you were going to say one way and it's her way.
Jesus. Oh.
Oh, I said one way, her way. And you said one way?
I said One Way Jesus. It's a song.
I know that song.
One Way
Way,
Jesus.
Okay.
And also to clarify, I'm not Christian.
Actually, anyone that has been watching the past like 70 plus episodes confirm think that you Christian.
No, but shout out, like Jesus and I go way back. So
Like to what? 2000 BC.